my name's Mia.
Hi, I'm Jan.
And we are Perfectly Imperfect.
Hi guys, welcome back to our podcast show. Yeah, so...
Show or chat?
Chat.
It's only a show. It's only a show now because podcasts, they film you at the same time. So
yeah.
It's not just
so, hi. Yeah, so we've chatted about the devastation, how we were broken. We've covered all that. So today we wanted to talk about how you get back up and how you get to the point that you're doing not just okay, but you're doing really, really well. You're thriving, right? Yeah. In your own body, in your own life. So, yeah, for us, it was stay single, get straight.
Try to.
Yeah, get straight and thrive as a mum and thrive as businesswomen or career women, right?
Yeah.
But the tricks along the way were...
I think it's a risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all a risk. You don't really know if any of it's going to play out, but when it does play out, it feels pretty good.
And you make some mistakes, but we both did know was that we didn't want to turn to alcohol, right? We wanted to do... Although we did have some alcohol along the way, we didn't want to use it as a crutch, right?
Yeah.
So I took a totally different route than you. I took the holistic side, and as I was going along that journey, I tried every single holistic practice and treatment that you can think of, and I had an absolute blast. I knew I needed to heal, but I wanted to have fun doing it, and I did. Like, I've done shamanic work, inner child work, fire walks, ice walks, like, you name it, I've done it.
Sound baths.
Sound baths, yeah. So then I thought, okay, I'd kind of backed myself into a corner where I was working a job that was paying the bills with a salary, but it wasn't the life that I wanted to be living. So I thought, if I'm making changes here, I want to make changes that I'm living the life, my best life. So decided to pick all the things that I loved, of all the healing things that I had done, and make a business out of it. So the first thing for me was to become a sound practitioner. So I could do my own sound baths, because that resonated with us. That helped, like, healed my soul. It was like a big hug every time I went to a sound bath. So I done the sound training, which was long and hard. I've not got a musical bone in my body, but I really love crystals.
Did you find it hard learning all these things at the same time as trying to heal, or did it just like...
It actually helped us because we've spoke, I've got ADHD, and previous, my brain would eat itself.
Yeah.
So I nurtured the ADHD in a different route. I nurtured it with learning, but not sitting down with books, learning, listening to sounds.
Using your body.
Yeah, using my body. Which then went on to me thinking, all right, well, I really like EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. I think I'm going to do the qualification for that. Why? I didn't really have a plan, but I just knew that I wanted to keep learning because it was healing us from the inside out. And it was learning so much about me, you know, like I'm not useless. I am not just a wife. I'm not just a mum. I am a businesswoman. And then the plan kind of got hitched. Okay, well, what happens if I could learn women how to heal themselves like this? Then the sister circles were born, where I had a vision of all the favourite things that I had learned, and I would make a women's group that we could sit and I could learn them EFT. I could learn them how to calm their brain down through pain, through insomnia, through hurt, grief. And there was a way to tap into your own natural acupuncture points, and your brain would just automatically calm down. It was like telling your brain, I've got you. I know you're there. I know what you're thinking, but I've got you. It's almost like you're in a child, holding you in a child. You're telling your brain, calm down, you know? So then the sister circles were born, and I started holding women's circles where women could feel at ease. And we do different things like cacao, which is a chocolate spiritual drink packed with magnesium that is amazing for you. And I've just gave my salary job up, which paid the bills.
That's a big deal.
That's a massive deal because I've got bills like everybody else. But I wanted to chase my dreams, and here's me telling women to chase their dreams and go for what they want.
So you have to practice what you preach.
And I absolutely did. And it was scary, but I'm absolutely thriving. So yeah, I feel that that's how you do it. You believe in yourself. You don't listen to anybody else. Like people said to me, "You're mad. How are you going to pay for your mortgage? How are you going to pay for your car insurance? How are you going to pay for your pet insurance? How are you going to pay for this?" And I'm like, I'm going to let the universe guide us. And I'm also going to trust in myself that I'm a capable woman, that I'm a capable businesswoman. So from that, I'm doing this podcast. I've just launched my own crystal range. And
I carry mine in my bra every day.
Yeah, and I'm educating women on how to heal themselves through small things like crystals, like self-soothing EFT, like a cup of cacao and feeling gratitude every morning when you drink it. That the small things can mean massive big things, you know. And the amount of women that are coming to us and saying, "You saved my life." I was at a point where I just didn't know what I was doing, whether it was career or grief or breakup of a marriage, breakup of a friendship, like so many health problems. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at, and that's how you do it. That's how I done it.
That's a good journey.
Yeah, that's it. This has been the best journey of my life, this part.
Yeah.
Out of everything I've done, this finding myself and healing myself in such a wholesome way has been amazing.
That's really good.
So,
what about me?
What about you? Tell me.
Parts of me, oh my God, there's so many parts. Yeah, I mean, I think accidentally I became a businesswoman in a lot of senses. I never thought of myself as a businesswoman in any way, shape or form. I'm a people's person. I know I've always been a people's person. I love being around people. The more I'm around people, the more it kind of like the energy I get, it fills my cup.
Yeah, definitely.
I love learning about people. I love learning about their stories, where they come from, what they're doing. So yeah, I've always known that part about me. I did not believe in myself when I took my risks. It was like survival, fight or flight. I didn't really have anything to lose back way when either. I was like on universal credits with 3 small children. I was studying, so I had SAS payments. But when I say I was poor, I was poor. There was weeks where I would go with not eating so that I could feed the kids. I was always really grateful when you invited us over on Sunday because then I'd get a good feed. And there was lots of times where I felt really embarrassed to like say where I actually was versus like where everyone else was around me. But yeah, those years were really, really hard. But there was one time I got an extra SAS payment that I wasn't supposed to get. And I took that 400 quid, which made me feel extremely guilty, like so guilty. And with that 400 quid, I bought sheets of MDF ply and I built those first 8 cubes.
Yeah.
The first 8 cubes only being like by 80 centimeters. And I took them to Yardworks Graffiti Festival. I even remember that first phone conversation with this guy called Gaz. And I said, "Hey, I have this like mad, weird, quirky idea that brings people together, but it also does this, this, and this." And I listed off all these things that my project is supposed to do. Did I know it then? Maybe. I believed in the idea of it, but I didn't really know where it would go. And literally from that 400 quid turned into thousands and thousands that didn't just go in like to afford me and my children and, put food on my table. But then those thousands also went into loads of community groups, loads of charities.
So explain to the viewers, because I know the famous Cube.
Cube Project.
Yeah.
So the Cube Project was literally born out of my frustration studying. I found that when I was studying, I couldn't understand or rack my head around me getting more talented or more skilled at just painting or just printmaking. There's loads of skills I have, but I couldn't work out how that was going to mean that I was going to be able to afford me and my 3 children. So at that time, I had always thought about teaching, and I am also a lecturer, but I needed hardcore, like, how can I make art my way of life? So I turned the cube. Those 8 cubes were born out of frustration. Let me get as many people drawing on them as possibly can and see what happens from there. But the cube is now the largest participatory artwork in Europe, which is a pretty big title to say. So I have over 50,000 people, and the Cube has adapted and changed over the last 6 or 7 years. For example, in COVID, there was no events, so the Cubes couldn't go out into all different community groups or festivals or so on and so forth. So we had lots, even me and the kids would run them back and forth on their skateboards, and there would be like lots of Cube. And from that, actually, I built such a big community online. Because everybody loved watching my kids pack up all these like cube boxes, and then everybody would be like creating their cubes and then sending them back, and we'd be sharing them. And it was something me and the kids did to keep ourselves kind of like sane in the pandemic, being stuck in the house for the year. And then it just kept growing after that and growing after that. So the Cube, I'm lucky, it's grateful. It's like, it's always there. It's like, there's always a need for it. There's always a want for it. It really groups people together. It lets people have a say. It lets people have freedom, and it also lets people draw on something that you're usually not allowed to draw on.
And also, it kind of gives you the message that no matter where you are in life, no matter how much money you've got, no matter how much...
You meet people in the exact same place they've come. So it's like the conversations that happen around those cubes are probably more vital, because it just opens up the floor or the space to have a conversation, because you usually wouldn't. You're not usually having conversations with strangers, but if you're in a space and you're all looking at each other, you automatically have to make eye connection. You have to foster a sense of, right, we're going to share this space and make something or do something.
And I think also it gives you the sense of, you know, for women that are like, what do I do? Where am I? Something's happened, a monumental thing that's kind of, they're in a crossroad, or men, what do I do? You can make something out of something tiny if you just believe in it. Something small, like some MDF pieces, or me sitting in the house drinking cacao thinking, oh, I wonder if other people would want this.
Sometimes the most simple things end up being what resonates with people the most, I would say.
But from, you know, the few years ago that we've talked about previously, you're now nurturing a new business, right?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of happened organic, like out of nowhere. I mean, as we talked about in the last podcast, like I didn't have a very good year, and I'd actually let a lot of my self-employment go because I just mentally couldn't handle it. So apart from teaching in the Cube, I also do murals and I do lots of workshops with lots of people, but I was functioning on a very low MIA level.
And I think most people do, and it's like, I've got to go to my job to pay the bills, but I'm going through something.
But for me, it felt worse, not worse than that, because I can't speak for anyone else, but it's like I function at such a high level, and I push myself to be perfect, like perfect mum,
Perfectly Imperfect.
What I do. Perfect at what I do. And so for me to like not function at a level that I was just so used to functioning made me feel so less than. And that's when I really started realizing how maybe not broken I am, but like where I get like my validation from. Like, I mean, even 4 years ago, I was super successful. 4 years ago, do I think I was successful? No. 7 years ago, I was successful. 10 years ago, I was successful, but I really still didn't actually believe it until actually not that long ago.
When you found your own self-worth.
I pushed so hard for that. Like, you know, at some point I'm going to have this feeling where I'm worth it. Like, it doesn't matter how accomplished I am or how many first class I got or what a perfect mum I am, or, you know, like all the grades I got, all the, you know, I still felt shit about myself.
Because I think society, tells you can do better, push more,
do better,
push
you need
more.
To be better.
You need this, you need this car, you need this house.
And I also had that about how I look too, you know, like especially after, like when you have children and stuff, and I had them quite young, so like you go through all these body changes and body image issues, and I think most women, if you haven't struggled, I mean, we've all struggled somewhere, some way, somehow. But yeah, Nudie 2 came around by, I guess, kind of a little bit of accident and a little bit of, I'm very lucky to have a lot of students that constantly nag me for naked people to draw. So I have that in all the colleges all the time. Nobody ever wants to take their kit off because it's like most people have some hang up about their body issues or their bodies. But drawing people is so important, especially if you want to be an artist. You have to be able to life draw and study. And And nude models happen to be extremely expensive.
Yeah.
I Googled a lot. So nude models out there, that's definitely a job role to get into because it's a lot of money.
It won't be me.
There's a lot of money in nude modeling, okay? A lot of money. So me and my friend Chelsea and also one of my colleagues at the college, we were just like, we're so sick of everybody begging us for life drawing. What are we going to do about it? We're like, okay, there is a problem here and we just have to find a solution to it. So I was like, Chelsea, would you be okay getting your kit off? And she was like, yeah, I think I'd be okay with it. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I would be okay with it, but when I go snowboarding or when I go paddleboarding or when I do all my activities, I generally get my kit off to get changed to do that. And I don't really care who's around when I'm doing that. So maybe I can do it. Mm-hmm. And then in my head, I'm thinking to myself, but Chelsea does do like, you know, like she's in that art world of like, you know, really beautiful photography with like women.
Yeah.
And, so I was like, Chelsea, worst comes to worst, I'll be the teacher and Chelsea be the one getting a kit off. But no, it's amazing. We meet every Wednesday. We have a good group of people that come. We have lots of new people coming. We do it at Made in Sterling. And me and Chelsea take it in turns to take our kit off every week.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, the first one, I was like, holy crap, now I have to do this. Mm-hmm. But it's actually been the most amazing experience
therapeutic,
ever.
Right?
It's been so therapeutic. Like, it's actually given me a lot of like body confidence.
Yeah.
I know Chelsea can say the same for her, but that was a win in itself that we even felt like so much more confident about how we looked and how appreciated it was because that people are there to study like the human form. You know, that's what they want, right? Mm-hmm. And then not only that is that then the participants, sometimes I'll have like a meeting. I'm a director of a few places too. So sometimes I'll have a meeting and I can't model that night and so on and so forth. And even some of the students who have been coming, they'll offer to nude. Yeah. So it's not, we've actually created such a safe environment that the people that are taking part in the class have no problem getting their kit off too, which is amazing. That never happens.
So it's been monumental for you, hasn't it? It's been good. It's been good. It's been helped you along the healing journey.
Yeah.
And it's also give you resilience that, you know what, just these ideas, when they come to you, you roll with it.
You just roll with it. And you roll with them however long they're going for. You know, everyone's always like, what's your end game? I don't have an end game. I don't have that much planned ahead of me. I take the opportunities when I can. I take the risks when I can because I usually find that risks pay off. Yeah. And if you feel fear, you have to turn that into excitement. Yeah. Everyone feels fear. Yeah. Fear is a very natural thing to feel.
And I think the great thing about when you feel so broken or you're going through such a hard time, you know, when they say you reinvent yourself, the only way is up. It's like you've had that fear, you've just went through one of the hardest times of your life. So what have you got to lose? And that was me. I was like, what have I got to lose by trying these things? When you said it was, you know, it's great for your self-worth, the sister circles for me, you know, I'm sitting with a group of women, we're talking about really hard things.
As much as you're giving out, they're filling your cup too. Yeah. So, and I think that's the best way businesses or friendships or any relationships is where the cup is going both ways. I say that the same when I teach. Yes, I'm a teacher. Yes, I have X amount of qualifications. But I walk into most of those classrooms being taught a hell of a lot by the people that are in front of me. Yeah. And that's what makes the environment a good environment when it's back and forth.
And I think it's like that with everywhere, you know, like any relationship, and I think as you've been through stuff and you start coming into yourself and getting your self-worth, you know, you realise that the real hard times are over and you start setting boundaries, setting goals, knowing what's good for you, knowing what's not good for you, and living your life like that. So that's how you heal, and that's how you get out of the real pit of darkness. You start setting boundaries and standards for yourself, right?
And you're also not, I also think, yes, absolutely, I know those boundaries for me and what's good for me and what's not good for me, but also I'm not, you know, life is tough. Yeah. You never know what's coming around the corner. Things happen and like you can't control what's coming, but I sure as hell know that I have a hell of a lot more skills to be able to deal with what's coming.
It's how you deal with them, right?
Yeah.
It's how you deal with it. And I think staying grounded and realising...
And knowing that if you go off your trolley a bit again, you know how to fix it.
Yeah. And realise then that was a better day.
Yeah, and I think forgiveness for yourself and a lot of grace goes a hell of a long way, and people are extremely self-critical. We're not perfect. No one's perfect. Yeah. Everyone has a demon.
Yeah. Or a few.
Or a few.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, guys, that's basically how where we are today. Happy, thriving, ready for other problems in life to come and bite you in the bum. But you know what? We'll deal with it. So thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you the next time on Perfectly Imperfect. Bye, guys.
Perfect.